Thought I'd give you a heads up on this place. I love it. And as you can see, it's just on dusk, getting darker by the minute. G'day. It's almost Christmas, almost that pointy end of the year. So I'm starting to slow things down a little bit, get a little bit consolidated. I want to catch up with my family and friends, as you can imagine. Now, I really feel obliged, having travelled for the last 3 years and seen a lot of different places. I really should answer one of the most common questions that everybody asks. What's my favourite place? So I've come up with a solution to that because there's different states will have different, they've got different things to offer. So what I'm going to do this week, I'm just going to talk about my top 3 favourite places in New South Wales. 2 of them are beach places, and one of them is out in Big Field. In fact, it's in the world's 2nd biggest canyon. We only just beat the Grand Canyon. But anyway, it's great to be there. Inside this canyon where you stay, depending how long you stay, can be as cheap as 50 cents a night. In there you've got a big field, you've got lots of kangaroos, you can run around, it's pretty safe for the kids, got a little river running by, it's a little tourist destination, you can go and do a tour nearby. So as I said, it's really got it all. So that's the what I call the escarpment canyon. The other 2 beaches. One beach is about, from Sydney, it's about a 5-hour drive, so it's a bit of a trek, but once you're there, it really is pretty good. You're staying in a bay, you've got a view of the ocean, and even though it's on the east coast, you get a chance to see a sunset. Go figure. You've got to be there to see it. It's great. The water itself is in a little bay. Now the bay is great because it's fairly shallow, so that your little kids and toddlers can run around and have a bit of a swim. You can do some fishing, you can do other water sports. It's kind of got it all. It's not that far from the shops, and the slightly bigger shops is not much further as well. So again, it's got everything. And the 3rd beach place, now that's a bit of it's definitely a 4-wheel drive only, the 3rd place. You've got to go up, when you're going up there, you're driving down a gravel road, that's not too bad. Then getting onto the beach, you go through some deep sand dunes, then onto the beach, got to drive down the beach, got to go back through the sand dunes again, deep sand. Then you've got to do a river crossing, so it's a real trek to get there. And if you get there, you're rewarded, because it really is outstanding. Anywho, let's go. Thought I'd give you a heads up on this place. I love it. Now there is a couple of things about it. It's not easy to get here. You definitely have to have a 4-wheel drive, have to have a bit of skill and experience driving on a beach and in heavy sand, and do a river crossing. But if you can get through all of that, it's definitely worth it. This time of the year, it's not too bad to get in. Comes Christmas time, it gets crazy. You don't have to sort of half think about it. Apparently in a few weeks' time, getting close to Christmas, there's 2,000 people here. Now, I can't even imagine that, but that aside, it really is quite good. Got a lovely long beach here. Apparently the fishing is quite good. Quite a few people have come here for surfing and for stand-up paddleboarding and all those sort of little exercises. It's a great little river there for during low tide. You can have the little kids splashing around the water. It's quite safe, which is good. And yeah, it has a lot to offer. So here's my kit that I used out in the desert. It's already preset to 15, so I will put it on the 4 wheels of the caravan, tyres of the caravan, automatically lowers it. Then if I'll go back and I'll check it with the gauge, and I'll add or subtract as required. So I'm going 15 on the beach, but I may lower it. Listen to them singing away. That's the air coming out at high speed on these little gauges. Fingers crossed it's still adjusted and I don't have to, I don't go too flat. I'll just keep an eye on them. Hey! Okay, there's not many other things to do right now, but I've put the kettle on for a cup of tea. And just a little point, don't get too impatient. Think, oh, that'll be close, and take it off, because I noticed that on these two that I put on first, there's still a little bit of air coming out. So the closer you can get it to the exact number you want, the better. I'll listen out for that. The upshot was, I got down the beach, I got onto the beach, fine. I got down the beach, fine. But just there's a little entry coming into before the river crossing, and that's where I got stuck. This is the final entrance into Pebbly Beach Campground. So basically what they do is they've already come off the highway, they go down a long gravel road, then they drive along the beach for probably 3 kilometres, come into this little area if you can get through. They come into this area, and then this river, or like inlet, has to be approached at low tide. Anybody that attempts to come in now is probably going to drown their cars. Now the waterway behind me is I'm about to cross over, and I've just got to be careful of the depth of the water and any dramas I have. And I am doing it by myself, and everyone's still asleep, and those that are up, I'm probably sure that they'd be more of a hindrance than a help. No offence. So according to my calculations, which aren't real great, the tide should now be low tide. However, I just spoke to a guy and he said it's not for another hour, so that's dead low. So I'm thinking I'm going to have a go at the next 5 to 10 minutes and take it on, as I said, just by the car, because I need to get to a post office to post something sort of fairly urgent. Phase 2 success. Woohoo! When you're driving out in the country, always be aware of kangaroos, day or night. I'm in stunning Glen Davis Campground. It's National Park, so all they've changed it in New South Wales, making it you have to make a booking fee for every national park you stay at. Not quite sure. They're saying that's for part of the maintenance and keep it safe for us and so on and so forth. Fair enough. It's really not much anyway, so the dollar value is not important. But look, it's a really great place to base yourself. Can't guarantee what time of the year it is. Like I'm here on the Monday following just a normal weekend, and there's only one other camper here. But during the weekend there was probably about 20, and I think it's probably got the capacity of maybe 100 or more. Probably camper trailers or camper vans or, you know, motorhomes, all that sort of stuff. Probably not so much caravans, but hey, I'm here. A really great place. You're just literally a couple of kilometres away from the Shale, the old Shale factory. Now that's a tour you can do. I'd probably recommend that. That's pretty good. And if you don't do the tour, you can certainly walk up to the lookout and look over the old buildings. And those buildings were used between 1938 and 1952. Thereabouts. They were using the shale to produce petrol and all the derivatives of oil. So absolutely outstanding. It really is just some great place. Now what I'm going to do is, someone's asked me how big's the area. Now I couldn't even tell you in acres or hectares. By the way, in case I hadn't mentioned earlier on, this is the second world's largest canyon. So go Aussies. I shot this the other day and I wasn't quite sure how it ended up, but just in case, again, this is the Shale, the old Shale works, and the aim of that was to take the shale from the mountain. Now the shale is around about, you're looking up there at the escarpment, round about tree line is where the shale was found from there on that little section. And this apparently was extremely good quality shale. So they'd pull that out. You can see the shale mine, which is now locked up for good reasons, I'm sure. And they would get it out of there, put it on a conveyor belt, get it down to the various processing parts of the factory here. And this closest building is where there was 400 degrees down the very bottom and about 800 degrees at the very top, and they would filter out the non-wanted gases. And the guys at the very top who were managing that, quite often young men, like 17-year-olds or younger, they were in charge up there. And unfortunately, sometimes when the gas would go up, it would actually explode and blow the top off. Now you may be asking, what does shale look like? This is physically what it looks like. Just looks like a black rock. And there's various pieces I've got here. They all look about the same. Feels and looks a little bit like charcoal, but obviously doesn't make the marks that charcoal makes. Now the thing is, apparently you can burn this stuff and it burns for a while. Burning rock. So I better get it back to camp and see if it really does burn. And normally I give you a heads up when there's a bit of a path. So here it is. It says it's 550 metres. I don't think it's that, but let's assume it is. There's probably, I don't know, 35 steps on the way up. They're all well maintained, and then there's no there's no ankle snappers. So you should be fine if you can just do your normal walk. This building behind me is where they would have the gases actually running up the columns. Unfortunately, because of occupational health and all that sort of stuff, we can't go underneath it, but it's a pretty amazing sight. And what would happen is the gases would go up, and because of its relatively poor design, every now and then it would explode and literally blow the top off the part of the building. You see little grey marks on the side of the building. That's where some of the explosions happened. Here I am at Southwest Rocks. The area here is absolutely outstanding. Now I've got one night on this absolute treasure area to stay. You're actually right on the beach, you're overlooking the sunset, which I'm sure will be fantastic. And also, if on a good day, you can actually see the whales coming past. Worst case, you might have to walk 150 metres for another vantage point and still see the whales this time of the year. So yeah, it's just got so much to offer. It also raises the question, like, the more people I tell, the more people come, the less chance you've got of staying here. But if I don't tell you, someone else is going to tell you anyway. So there you have it. So over this side you've got the breakwater, which protects this little bay, which is lovely if you wanted to go paddle boarding or just having the kids have a bit of a swim, or gentle beginning surfing. On the other side of this little area is the jail, the old jail. So that's quite a tourist spot to go in and check that out. Even if you don't go there, stand in the car park and you get a better vantage point of seeing the whales as they're coming through. This time of the year, you do tend to see a fair few. It doesn't happen in the morning or at lunch or afternoon, it just happens when they're passing by. Now up here in the car park, you might feel as though you're closer to the whales as they're coming past. Obviously you're not, but it makes you feel as though you're a little bit closer and you have a better vantage point. So now you can go out and you see the little sprays as they blow their spout, so to speak, or when they flip their tails up and splash the tail on the water. That's fantastic to see that as well. Looking up at the lighthouse from the beach. So that's definitely, I have to go and check that out. I know it's almost dark and it's probably a bit hard to see me. That's not a bad thing. Just wanted to show you this. It's Southwest Rocks Lighthouse, and as you can see, it's just on dusk, getting darker by the minute. This is a fully functioning lighthouse, and you can, well, you can't see it at the moment. I will show you later on, but it's just going the old whoosh, whoosh to warn ships. It's also great up here at the moment as the sun's setting. I'll try and grab that sunset if I can, but it's great because there's lots of, quite a handful of whales out there that are breaching, but again, dark, I can't really show you. I can just see the big splashes and they're big. So I'll try and get that during the day. Anyhow, I just want to go up and check out that lighthouse. Let's go. Good morning, top of the morning to you. Not sure why I'm whispering, but there's definitely no one else around here. It's about 5 o'clock in the morning. Thought you'd enjoy seeing the sunrise. I'm in Southwest Rocks, standing right next to the lighthouse, which is pretty spectacular. Can't really show you any footage because it's all well cocooned so that the bright lights actually don't flood down onto our area or cross into the hillside. So enjoy the sunrise. And there you have it as the sun plummets into the west. My top 3 places in New South Wales after travelling for 3 years, that's them. So I'll go through it again. Pebbly Beach, what an adventure. It's an adventure to get there, it's an adventure to leave and get out of there. Then there is the Australia's answer to the Grand Canyon, in fact the world's second biggest canyon, and finally Southwest Rocks, always strong in my heart, a great place, great for fishing, for swimming, for being with the kangaroos, for checking out the whales on the good time of the year. So between the three of them, I really think you've got it all wrapped up there. Now if you found the video useful, helpful and or entertaining, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, I haven't given up on you, please subscribe. And if you think the video is worth sharing, that too would be great. Until next time, this is Paul Wheel Drive, signing off.